Snuggle up.
All right. So anyway, we got some questions from Wyatt. He wants to know where Sam got the good legs from. So Sam, how did you get such? Oh, no, that's a distraction. So John, how did you get into Scientology? Wyatt wants to know.
Curiosity about the controversy surrounding it, and
this guy was interested in the controversy. Can you mention that? Look, he got plenty of that, didn't you? Yeah. So listen, you know, we've done these, we spent a lot of time outside Dublin Mission, the three of us, and we did a lot of talking. We hopefully tried to counteract some of the lies they were being told with truth. And one criticism I got was, we're not just harassing them. And yeah, we were harassing them. But for myself, I don't know.
We weren't. We were not harassing them.
We were. On one level, we were. But it's like, how far do you go in trying to get people to see that they've been hoodwinked? If a little harassment is what it takes to save a person's life, then yeah, we'll harass them. Anyway, that's just my take. Any comments on that?
It's a necessary evil. And it's nothing to the level of harassment that they will deliver upon other people.
Well, that's right, that's right. I mean, and I only worked out the other day that of all the people who've lost their lives in Scientology, it's an average of 1 a week since Scientology started. And that's far too much, far too much.
Can you actually harass a bully? I mean,
great question. Can you harass a bully? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think bullies are, I think you can, I don't think you can remain in an organisation and wedge people and get them in and make them stay unless you have some form of bullying going on. So,
yeah.
Is facing up to a bully and standing up to a bully, is that harassment? You know, no.
If harassment is the worst we ever do, then, you know, great.
I say that they harass and bully society.
They do.
Behind closed doors, they have complete contempt for society.
And then it's the same thing they were doing. The police the other day when they came out and got in our faces and got all aggressive, and then stood back and filmed and called the police and said we were being aggressive.
Because they started off very aggressive.
This is their game. We're innocent for being harassed. And behind the scenes, they're manipulative and police.
That's right. And when the police arrive, they try to be all level-headed and look at us, these terrible people. Do you know, there was one occasion when I was out there, and there were 4 male Scientologists, and there were 2 female Scientologists, and a cop showed up, and they complained to the cop to say that they felt intimidated by me. So, like, 6 people intimidated by 1 person. I don't even get the logic of that. But it was interesting, to say the least, and the guard just laughed.
And then there was the point you made that they were out on the street in our faces, giving as good as they got, and playing innocent.
That's right. If they'd gone away, there wouldn't be any harassment because they wouldn't be there.
They've started pulling the camera on innocent civilians now, non-Scientology activists.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was a guy last week, a friend of mine, who saw the stress test table being set up on Abbey Street, and he approached to advise the lady who was taking the stress test not to be fooled that this is Scientology, this is a front to get you into Scientology. And immediately Ahmed pulled out his camera and started filming the guy. And this guy has got nothing to do with the critic scene.
Wow.
And Ahmed started filming him. He was filming Ahmed, and all you could hear is the kerfuffle between them. He's like, "Get away from me, you cunt, you! Get that camera away from me!" You know? But that's what's going on now. They're not only harassing their critics, they're harassing anybody on the street who dares to challenge them. You know?
And going back to what you said, they have utter contempt
for the world.
For people who are not Scientologists. They're people they listen to.
They have contempt for the police. They regard them as merchants of chaos behind closed doors. But when the likes of us show up, the police are summoned immediately.
So can you guys remember when Michael O'Donnell said that the EU recognised Scientology as a religion? And I did some research today and found out there are actually just 3 countries that recognise them fully as a religion, and all the others either say that they're a business, some give them charitable recognition, and that one, that one just has me going, oh my God. Scientology, a charity? Are you kidding me?
Well, charity is low on scale anyway. They regard anybody who's homeless or in need of help as degraded beings.
That's right.
They've got themselves into that position by themselves.
When I was a Scientologist, I was actually taught to detest charities as they simply perpetuate the condition that they're set up to fix. For example, if you're raising money to Africa, you just that's exactly what Scientology.
That's exactly what they do at the AAS event.
Exactly.
It's going to happen next Friday. They're going to get financially raped.
Yeah. Next Friday will be the big one, and we'll be there.
Really.
Hey, can you all hear any of us? Can you hear any of us out here?
Yes, I can hear you.
Because Haley said she didn't think you could hear her. Do you want to hear her question?
No, it's okay. We can hear you, unless you have a question.
No, Haley has a question, and I'm just wondering, she said she didn't think you all could hear her.
No, we didn't hear you.
Yeah, what is her question?
So what's Haley's question?
Haley's there. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Haley.
She says, why do the Scientologists stay outside if they won't talk to you? Do they have to get extra auditing after they have to quality and theta?
That's a great question.
You have to have material for the KRs.
Yeah. One of the things, one of the criticisms that we've had about our performance was that we were harassing them. That's an interesting thing, because if they weren't there wouldn't have been any harassment.
We told them to go back inside if they didn't want to deal with it.
What was the question? What they were doing outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are they outside?
There was one point when I went up to the mission where Dermot got very aggressive, got really close, when I arrived, got really close, was ramming the camera in my face, pushing me around. Ahmed started pushing me around, and then they went back into the door, and I followed them, and then they whipped their cameras out, and Dermot started screaming, "Gun, hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me." And it was like the whole thing felt like a setup.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to start a fight and get it filmed. And it was the same ploy that Marty used to talk about, where the PIs would go after him and get him all aggressive, get him all worked up, start shoving him, and then pull their cameras out and try and get him to attack them. Seemed there was a bit of that going on there.
I think so too, and there's a fantastic
Like
example.
switch tactics.
Of this, where David Love in Canada is having this happen to him on his own, and the guy is begging him to hit him and goading him, insulting him. If you've seen it, it's one of the funniest clips that exists. God, motherfucker, hit me. I get up every morning just so that fuckers like you will hit me, you fucker. And he just goes on in that vein. They were very much like that the other night, definitely.
It's definitely a Congress's
Tactics. Yes.
tactics is to try and make you look like the aggressor. But I mean, the police were just laughing.
The police were laughing.
Police were laughing,
Yes. They knew exactly what they were like.
I asked the guardian, I said, you know how they operate, you know what they're doing. And they said, yeah.
The police were actually called twice that night, and the second guy that came on his own went upstairs, and I texted the ethics officer to tell the cop where he could find us. We went to a nearby cafe to wait it out, but the cop didn't show up looking for us, and then she texted me back to say that don't ever text me again, something to that effect anyway. But
yeah.
They called the cops twice that night, and to no avail. The cops seemed to be
They were
disregarding them.
No, but when the police came, they were all stood back grinning, like they thought they'd won some sort of huge victory.
Yeah, but the police and us are kind of on opposite sides, and it just isn't true.
And they think if we leave, it's because the police made us leave.
Yeah. There's
Not because we popped up to Supermax with some chips.
It happened. It happened a few weeks ago where we were just about to leave and get something to eat, and two female guards showed up and started chatting. So we ended up chatting to them.
And they're actually talking about city survey. Would we like to do a city survey? Oh
yeah, that's right. And then
right in front of the org at the time.
And then eventually we went and got something to eat. And then the following week I heard that the Scientologists were saying that they'd chased us away.
Police
And in
got
actual
basically-
fact, they kept us there longer than we wanted to be there. You know, so
we were just meeting up there.
that's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
better put this coat down because I'm look like Dermot Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Forgive me, no, but there is actually something in this, Dermot, unlike your prop.
And the foot. Did you see the foot?
Mm.
What's the foot thing? Did he get a BT?
BT, yeah, the BT in the shoe. That one missed the karate chop. You don't feel fucking stupid doing that, like, seriously.
I don't know. I never audited BTs, and I can't think that I ever
You never
would.
did?
No, I didn't. No.
I did.
You see, my
I
BTs
audited many BTs.
never bothered me. They
It never bothered me till I went and woke them up. Excuse me, I have to audit you out now.
Yeah. So if they didn't bother you until you woke them up, why did you wake them up?
Yeah, let sleeping dogs lie.
Why did I join a cult? Why did I?
Yeah.
Why did I do many of these things?
Yeah.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Did for everybody.
That's a good answer. Why did you wake up your BTs? It seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, that's pretty good. So does that answer the question, Hayley? I'm sorry we got distracted there.
As we do.
Haley has a follow-up.
Oh, good.
She says, do the police know that Scientology views you as merchants of chaos?
We tell them every time.
Yes.
We tell them about the policy, and we have delivered to the station printouts of L. Ron Hubbard's policy on the police.
We have
a good relationship with the police.
Yeah,
we do.
In Abbey Street.
With the sergeant himself, actually.
Yeah.
We do. We have a very good relationship with them.
It's a working relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. Privately, we've been approached by off-duty guards who've told us, don't worry about them. Every time they phone up complaining about you guys, we just ignore them.
Yeah, it's like Clancy Wiggum off The Simpsons. He's typing it on his invisible typewriter.
Yeah. The thing is, it's a funny thing with the police. The ones who actually know what's going on and know us as protesters and the fact that we've been there for 6-7 years without any trouble, we don't have any problems with them. But you do occasionally get one that doesn't know what's going on, who believes everything that the Scientologists tell them, which of course is that we're evil and whatever they tell them, I have no idea. And that sometimes does present problems, but generally speaking, we have a great relationship with the police. And so we should, because we're merchants of chaos together. Yay. Take down the cult. So, does that answer Hayley's question, I wonder?
What was the question?
She says thank you for answering. She says thank you for answering, and a huge hug to 3 very brave and funny people.
Hugs.
And what?
A huge hug to 3 very brave and funny people.
Oh, hugs back.
Hugs. Thanks, Hayley. Now, was there any more questions from Wyatt that John hasn't answered yet?
You know what? I was away for a minute, so I don't know if John answered any of them, but I can read what he posted before.
Well, we covered the first. Did we cover the first question about how John got into this? Yeah, it was the controversy that attracted him.
What's that about?
Wyatt asked if he's been followed. Has he been followed or otherwise had any bad tactics used against him? And also,
I think I've been called.
And how he hooked up with you, Pete.
Right, bad tactics. No, I've never experienced any unusual instances around my house or anything like that. No, so I don't think I've been followed. How I hooked up with Pete was I was on course around 2010, and I was disillusioned. So I got onto the anonymous website one night and I started talking to a few of the guys there, and remaining on course in Scientology, but I would get on every night and speak to the guys, and I started protesting with them quite at the same time going on course, and eventually I stopped going on course and joined the guys full time. But yeah, I've been with Pete since 2010, I'd say.
Yeah, we used to wave to each other.
Yeah, out the window. I used to wave out the window of the mission to the guys and wink at them, and I'll join you down the pub later on, which I did, Remember my last maiden voyage of Clear Ireland expansion event, I think it was in 2010. and I helped one of the Ryan brothers even carry their equipment out of the hotel. And I winked at the guys, and we met in the pub about an hour later, and I discussed what went on about their tall tales about delivering the way to happiness in Belfast, and how that through this little leaflet they managed to stop the religious warfare that was occurring in Belfast, whilst also encouraging people with shabby houses to suddenly turn around and paint their houses. All in Belfast. All from the delivery of this little book, which the fuckers in Dublin Mission who had to deliver the book paid for themselves. You know, if the church was so benevolent and humanitarian, it would pay for the printout of these leaflets and books instead of getting their parishioners to do the same.
The depth of the deception is fantastic, though, because it keeps them hooked and it keeps them willing to go in and devote their time. So by handing out Way to Happiness booklets and being told there was this miraculous change, for example, the crime rate in Dublin being reduced by 86%. You know, if that did happen, the world would want to know. It was drug-related crime. Yeah.
Way to Happiness. They're not even happy themselves. You see the faces of the guys in the doorway the other night. You know, Ger and Sabrina Collins leave their daughter to starve in the mission while they go about their administration work in the HCO, and their daughter is begging to be fed.
Mummy, can I have a Coca-Cola, please?
Yeah.
No, we're giving our money to the IAS. We're dauntless, resolute, and defiant. So we are.
Des Sinnott, the auditor, came out to us the other night, hiding behind the door whilst filming. But this is the guy that claims that all handicapped children deserve what they have because of past life transgressions. And he wouldn't come out to face us the other night when we uttered those words back to him. He scurried back up the stairs after filming us a little bit, of course. But why do 5 people need to be filming the one incident? You know? It's going to go back to the same source.
Hi, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Hi,
Hey.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can.
Oh, technology.
A genius.
Nice to hear your
Yes.
dulcet tone.
Yeah. I just saw your post on SPs and clicked a few things, and here we are.
Excellent. Do you have any questions for either John or Sam or even myself?
No, not really. I think we've all reached conclusions about the subject, haven't we? Yeah. John, what, if anything, do you think could be done to make Scientology a worthwhile institution or a real church? What would be the one thing you'd change, if anything, or is it just too corrupt to do anything?
In my opinion, nothing. You could not do that.
No money.
Because-
Well, if there's no money involved.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's an interesting
if they
one.
want to
Yeah.
be off and be and do this cookie thing, and it's like Wiccans and.
Yeah, Sam said this the other day. If you take the money out completely, absolutely, and utterly, then yes, maybe.
It's just
You would also
how
have to
they
remove.
do it.
You will have to remove the tone scale also, because you can't exclude people who may be down on their luck or may be depressed. You know, that's not a religion. Does not do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Okay. All right. Yes, interesting point.
I prefer to see a world.
I don't think you can have money and religion.
No. How can you? It doesn't even go together. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. No, that seems to be what a lot of the issues come down
Yeah,
to, from my perspective, as I read about it.
Yeah, religion is supposed to be a sanctuary anyway, and Scientology is a sanctuary for no one.
Right?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
Okay. Okay. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we any questions for Simon?
I wish I could see what everybody looked like, and that's just it. The next time.
Regarding his legendary post the other night where he
Wow.
put the picture of Xenu amongst the 2 guys.
Oh yeah, I had Photoshop open and a cup of tea and a couple of minutes to spare.
You were so quick.
Yeah.
We were howling.
What is it with these talented people
Oh, you're too kind.
on the side of the evil SPs?
Oh yeah.
But I'll be honest though, I do have moments where I sit and say, am I evil? Are they good? Am I doing the wrong thing? And that only lasts
That
for
means
about
you're not an SP.
that lasts for a split
That means you're
second.
not an SP.
No, I know, I'm not an SP.
I mean, I think we've all thought that. I mean, I'm a never in, as you know, and sort of come to it quite objectively. But I've thought the same. You know, am I being fair? I
Yeah,
think
well-
so. I think I've tried to read and learn as much about it as I can.
Yeah, well, I came in for some criticism about the videos that we made from the day before yesterday, in that we might be harassing them. And on one level, I don't mind harassing them if it helps them. You
Yeah.
know, if that's what it takes. But we tried everything.
But what's the alternative?
And what's harassment?
Leave them alone and let them get on with it. Well, I mean, if you know, if a murderer comes into my house and threatens my family, and I do something to stop them doing it, I wouldn't say that's harassment.
The Belfast branch, to Jeff Heisenberg, the Belfast branch is closed, and one of their staff members has actually moved down to Dublin. That was Michael O'Donnell, who we were speaking to.
Yeah. Connor's question is, are there any other religions or cults that you don't believe are legit? That's a great question. I don't know. If
they're a cult, they're not legit anyway.
Yeah.
But for itself.
For me, I'm not going to buy any religion. So I don't believe anything. So as far as I'm concerned, they've all got some aspect of ripping people off or hoodwinking people and lying to people. If there was a religion that said you can just believe what you like and didn't lie to people, I'd buy that. But I don't think there is one. There's an element of lies in all of it. Does anybody like any cake?
I was being polite.
We have cake.
Very quite lovely.
I can't have cake without tea. That ever-giving cup stopped giving.
Oh no.
Getting back to the harassment, thank you. Getting back to the harassment question, as per their own philosophy, they've pulled it in. Whatever we're doing to them, they've pulled it in, and it's going to keep happening.
Good point. That's true. If anything bad that happens to you is your fault. Therefore, all this stuff that's happening to Scientology is because of Scientology.
So then what's the point in Scientology? Because Scientology is there to help people, but if you deserved it, then why would they help you?
Ooh, give me that again.
But it's not harassment if you're being sincere, is it? I mean, if you're asking genuine, sincere questions, then and they are presenting themselves on the street, then they should enter into that, surely.
That's a recent occurrence, them appearing on the street and standing with us for so long. Before, we only got a chance to shout, well, I did mostly get a chance to shout abuse at them because they'd only be around on the street for like 5 minutes while they're scurrying from getting their dinner back into the mission, and they would just leg it down the street. But now they're actually coming out to us. So things are much more relaxed, and we're less aggressive in our approach to them because they're now giving us the time. So I don't know where it's going to go from here. And I'd much rather have civilized dialogue, actually it's monologue with them.
Yeah.
It's because I believe some of them are listening, and I noticed even with Dermot on Friday night, he was suppressing smiles and laughter as I was talking to him, because I knew the guy personally when I was in there, and I was saying things that were somewhat familiar and friendly to him, and he was dying to laugh, he was dying to smile. I could see it. His TRs were really messed up. I really fucked his TRs up. I'm proud of that because he's OT and I'm just back off the bridge again.
Should we explain what TRs are?
Training, yeah, you do that, yeah.
Oh God, thanks. TRs are training routines. It's something you do in Scientology. If you do the communication course as a beginning course, you do TRs. If you do pro TRs, which is professional TRs, you do a harder version, and they get harder and harder and harder. But essentially, you just sit there staring at someone, not blinking, not fidgeting, just like this sort of thing. Let's all do TRs, right? All do TRs here.
Oh no, how?
Your head moved. I love the way your head moved like that before you went into doing them. But basically, that's what they do. Now, Michael was doing that to me on the video the other day. Dermot was doing it to space, or maybe BTs, I don't know.
Hayley mentions that her ex-boyfriend did an SP test on her, and he determined that she definitely was not an SP. Well, he'll have a change of opinion now, obviously. So, for starters, associating with so-called SP.
I think it's funny.
But I mean, when I was audited inside, I asked the auditor, was I an SP? He goes, oh no, you're definitely not. You're a really good, you're a really strong being. You're a really good being. So look at me now. They're not gonna, you can cheat that e-meter, by the way. Dermot Ryan used to sec check me. I'm not auditing you, and I was talking to you guys, and I was getting floating needles. Everything was good. So the e-meter is not infallible.
That's right.
The second part of the question: how does he reconcile that with me being critical? Do you think? Well, they usually switch it over to PTSness.
Right.
You're either SP, and if you're not SP, then the general thing, well, then you're connected. So you're PTS until, or you're disaffected and you're connected to SPs, and then if it doesn't straighten out, you're an SP.
Yeah, but the SP is just basically name calling. It's like any organisation, religion, cult has to have an enemy, and Scientology's enemy is the SP, suppressive person.
And do they not have a form of auditing that can help the SP and bring them back into?
Well, if they had such wonderful technology,
yes, they can be cured rather easily.
Really?
Is that,
he does.
they can be cured rather easily, but
it must be very, very expensive.
One of the LRH librarian people out there, he says they can be cured rather easily, and then he talks about them not sitting still long enough, or why would we, or something like that.
I never
disposed of without remorse. Maybe that's very easily.
There's references on it somewhere.
What was that?
Such a long time since I've read any Scientology, I can't remember the references anymore.
Congratulations on your waking. Yeah. In conversation with Scientologists, I've had them conclude that I'm not really evil, just misinformed and misguided.
That was just Frank Gregg.
Yeah, and it's quite incredible.
Therefore, PTS.
But that's exactly what I think about them. They're misinformed and misguided. We can actually prove that they're misinformed, but they don't buy it. They don't believe it. They choose not to. And that's what we're up against. And that's why it appears that we're harassing them. I don't think we are. I think we're foolishly beating our head against the wall. But, yeah. It's gone very quiet.
So things still on.
I don't know what little green lights. We're looking at lights.
I don't hear anything. That camera thing had a little green light.
Oh, right. Can everyone still hear us?
There's nobody there, is there?
I can still hear you. Yeah, I can't see you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the green light's gone off. See?
It's gone off.
The technician has gone.
Well, it's okay because we're recording this anyway, so we won't lose any words. Our tech guy isn't here.
He's back. Is the little green light supposed to be off on that camera then?
So anyway, how long have we been doing this?
I'd say the 20-minute mark is well and truly up.
So we're probably going to head now, guys, and drink more tea and eat more cake.
Well, it's nice to talk to you.
Likewise, Simon.
And likewise.
Yeah.
And
see you on Facebook, no doubt.
yeah, we're also thinking about maybe a UK tour at some point. So we'll keep you informed of that.
Yeah, definitely.
The UK Irish Alliance.
The UK Irish Alliance.
The UK Irish Alliance.
So we'll say night night to everybody.
Yeah, take care. Lovely to talk to you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good to see you guys.
Who's there?
Okay, bye.
That's good to see you. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
More tea, Vicar.